Hey you guys, it's your girl T. So this week it's been announced that somebody in North Korea basically hacked into Sony's files and they leaked out about 140 gigabytes worth of information, including personal emails between the Sony executives. So in some of those emails you can see them going in on President Obama, making a lot of little racist jokes and little racist references. You can also see them talking shit about Angelina Jolie, calling her a spoiled brat, but also going in on Kevin Hart. They're basically pissed off because Kevin Hart would not tweet about the movie he was paid to do. So this whole situation was crazy. Just watching the exchange and watching them go back and forth and watching them talk about how they can make or break somebody's career. So go ahead and check out the email correspondence between both parties and I'll come back with the rest of my commentary. Alright, so you guys just checked out the email. So once these emails leaked, a lot of people had things to say. A lot of different celebrities had things to say, and so did Kevin Hart. I want you guys to check out these responses, and I'll come back with the rest of my commentary. So you guys just checked out the responses that people had to say, and especially Kevin Hart's response. And while I agree with Kevin Hart's response, he feels like he's a brand and he knows his worth. So why shouldn't he ask for money to tweet about a project that he was involved in? I think for me what this did was just basically open my eyes to what I already assumed went on in the industry. So many times you see a lot of celebrities tweeting about certain things. They're tweeting about certain movies, certain clothing, certain shoes, lip gloss. You guys better wake up and believe that a lot of those tweets that those people are sending out, they're getting paid to tweet certain things. They're getting paid to tweet certain projects. Twitter and Instagram is just another form of commercialism. And while it was meant to just be a place to socialize and interact with each other, now it's being used to push different agendas, projects, and products. You know what I mean? So I think that should wake up a lot of people to know that when you see a tweet from your favorite celebrity, it doesn't necessarily mean that that tweet is something they genuinely believe in or something they genuinely use, but that they possibly could be getting paid to send out that tweet. I think the exchange between the Sony execs said that loud and clear. You know, they felt like, why should they pay him to basically tweet about a movie that he was already getting paid to act in? But I think what I also found really interesting about their communication was how they were talking about how they can make or break him. So it's funny that these same folks who can make these people that we idolize and that we worship and everything else, they can also make them and break them just as quickly. And I think Kevin Hart got a rude awakening, because I know for a lot of black celebrities, it seems like once they make it to that upper echelon, you know, once they're sitting at the table with, like, you know, white execs and people who have money, they tend to forget that just because you up there with them, you know what I'm saying, and you making big money, does not mean that they see you as an equal. And I think that Kevin Hart got a rude wake-up call. You know, now I like Kevin Hart, but he's also the same Kevin Hart who's made a lot of crazy jokes about dark-skinned women. He's gone in on black women. You know, he said a lot of little sly shit. You know, and that was okay. And, you know, we need to get a sense of humor. But then when it comes to this situation, it's like, oh, this is my brand and it's not cool and it's racism. But, you know, it's funny how we can always go in on each other and talk about each other as men and women. But then when it's somebody from the outside doing some shit, now he wants everybody to gather around him and show him support. You know, so I just find the whole situation is kind of crazy. And I just feel like, you know, at the end of the day, he needs to realize that no matter how big he gets as a comedian or as a celebrity, you know, at the end of the day, they still look at you as just a regular dude. They don't look at you as an equal. At the end of the day, they're using you to put money into their pockets. They're using you to sell box office tickets. And if you're not down with what they're trying to use you for, then they can always replace you. And that's a sad fact. And that's why I always say that, you know, black folks need to start getting behind the camera. You know, stop looking for the fame aspect of it and start running their own production companies, their own media companies. Start putting together good movies. Stop depending on Hollywood to tell your stories. I've always said that in my videos. So maybe this would wake Kevin Hart and other people up to basically start their own media companies and be their own bosses, as opposed to working for Sony, as opposed to working for these other big corporations. You know, be their own corporate bosses, so that way they don't have to deal with the racism in the industry. Since these emails have leaked, the Sony execs have come out and apologized. I'm not buying their apology. It doesn't come off to me as sincere, but they did apologize for the entire situation. I think what is unfortunate is that at the end of the day, these were private emails. These were private leaks. I think people need to realize that in 2014, you know, anything can be hacked nowadays, and people can pull up your emails and your private conversations. You know, that's why I just feel like it's probably safer to whatever thoughts that you're thinking. It doesn't make any sense to write them in email because you really can't trust people. You know, you might as well either tell that person face to face and make sure you're not being recorded, because whatever you say now in email, in text, in whatever electronic form, it can be used to come back to haunt you later on in the future. So I just think that's the part that's just really unfortunate. So anyways, go ahead and leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts on this entire situation concerning the execs at Sony and what they have to say about Kevin Hart, Angelina Jolie, and President Barack Obama. So go ahead and leave a comment. All right, deuces.